What's up, guys? And it is now season 3, as you've been paying attention to what's been going on. And you might noticed right here that I have my co-host, who is not who you saw last season, but it is the uglier counterpart of my co-host. And I'll just go ahead and let him introduce himself, even though you know who he is.
Oh, you know who it is. It's me. It's Zaga. I'm here. Oh, yeah. We got some conspiracies. I have not done a single episode of Down the Rabbit Hole at all last season. So I'm excited to be here and be doing this now. I'm the one that kind of pushed this one onto Nick here. I was just like, yo, I got stuff to talk about. I held back all last season. I've been saving my conspiracy theories.
Which I'm surprised you
And
didn't jump in last season.
Taylor Swift's not one of them. I'll say that. Taylor Swift's not one of them this week. I'm not going to say that she's a jinx because every time she's been there and she's been jamming. She was swag surfing this weekend, and actually, yeah, it's gonna be like 2 weeks old. It's gonna be 2 weeks old by the time. I think so. Yeah, because no. And just so you guys know at home, we're recording this way out of order. Like we are like 2-3 weeks ahead. So I think this is gonna be dropping because we have our episode dropping tomorrow, fanboys.
Right.
And then we
And then
have
mine
yours coming out
dropping
the week
Friday.
after. So this will be the week after. And then and for those at home and all the new followers, first of all, I want to give a shout out to the followers. Y'all came in hot. We posted some videos of Copper, and y'all came in here guns ablazing, great, having a great time talking, jumping right in, commenting, following, joining the Discord. So all you guys who joined the Discord, joined all our stuff, welcome to the NFA fam. Glad to have you guys here, and hopefully you guys enjoy us too. But I will get Copper back for another episode very soon. So we went on a 3-week hiatus without him. So we're gonna see how the numbers look after this.
I think we should do some enticing. And I pitched you this idea because Copper's not here to be to shoot it down. So we've made a couple of jokes about his feet and his hands. I think if we reach a certain number of followers, we should mold Copper's hands as such, and we can send them out. We can put them on the NFA site to get purchased for recreational purposes only. Yeah, and Copper can sign them.
Like the little, yeah, we'll do that. We'll make prosthetic hands of representing Copper. For those who
and they are for recreational purposes only.
Okay, so just for recreational purpose, you will not be a prototype for. There will not be an actual hand that you could use and pretend to be Copper. I'm sorry. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time.
Can't be a cool hand Luke with Copper's
It's
hand.
a good idea.
It's a great idea.
I feel like the number should be at least 50. I feel like the number should be at least 50,000, right? He has 2 million. So 50,000, a quarter. I'm not even asking for a quarter of it. I'm asking for 1/8 of the followers. So you get 50,000 followers. I will find a way to mold. I'll have him sleep over one night and I'll mold his hand while he's sleeping.
I will fly to Connecticut and we can all hold him down and we can mold his hands.
Is that illegal?
What to do without him knowing?
Yeah, like if he was sleeping and I took a mold of his hand, would that be illegal?
If anyone's listening and you're a paralegal, please let us know before we do this. Or at least do a pro bono case if we go to jail.
Because yeah, if I need to know this, because if that is not the case, then I'm just going to do that. I'm also trying to convince him to read at least a chapter of 50 Shades of Grey for y'all. So if y'all keep following, I think the number for that one was just I need like 10,000 followers. 10,000 followers. My wife, and the fan base knows, as they call it, our wife. She can tell him what to do, anything, and he'll listen. So if y'all just, I'm setting the standard here. 10,000 followers, we'll get him to read 50 Shades of Grey. We'll get y'all thirsting over him a little more, because we know we're not the thirst traps. Nick and I here are not the thirst traps, right? We're far from that. But Copper's a thirst trap. He's a thirst trap for sure.
Yeah. I'm low-key kind of jealous of it, but
he's gonna hate this. He's gonna hate this episode so much.
That's fine.
Okay, Nick. So I know I sent you a couple of topics. We sent 3 topics that we were going to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of these that I'm pretty familiar with. One that is a real weird conspiracy theory. And it's not even like it's a conspiracy theory. It just doesn't. It's one of those things that makes you go, wait, what? How? Why? But where's the? Why did that happen that way? So I'll save that one for last because I want that's a good one. That's gonna be a good topic. But I want to. I know you did some research on some stuff, so I'm gonna let you start off with it. What was one of the topics that you researched that I told you about?
Well, I mean, obviously, I did my good boy deed, and I did research both of them. I didn't do the third one, but um,
Oh, so you
definitely
did you did the Chicago one.
no, I didn't do the Chicago one.
Okay, so you did the other two. Okay,
I did the other two. I think I want to save
perfect.
the one person for the second bit because I just love that guy altogether, and he did make some valid
Oh
points.
yeah, we'll go. We're gonna deep dive into that one. That's gonna be a good
Yeah.
one. So we'll start off with this one. Now, for those at home, now this we're like I said, we're 3 weeks late to the party on this one.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. I don't really care that I'm late to the party. I think that it needs to be talked about repeatedly anyway because there's a lot of cover up on this. Now, it happened on I think it was was it on the 2nd of January?
It was the very early midst of January. Yeah, of the new year.
Okay, so it was earlier on in January. Down in Miami, apparently there was what? 4 kids that were like smacking mannequins around with sticks and stuff and just causing a ruckus.
We'll see what I
The
heard
official
of
police.
the well the I guess the official report said that, but I had read that it was there were like a couple of kids from all like rival gangs fighting in this like mall civic center kind of ordeal, which doesn't really make sense watching the aftermath of what happened. If anyone has seen the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the reports just didn't make sense, and the story changed significantly each and every day from the news media, which that's usually what happens.
Yeah, so what I noticed was there was about I don't know, I counted it when I first saw the video. There's about 58 police cars. I think there was a
Not
SWAT team
including
too, not
um,
including.
oh, not include yeah, that's just police cars, not including the choppers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had the entire force out for these kids supposedly. Now, where the conspiracy comes from for you guys at home, because obviously that's what this show is all about. It's diving into these weird stories that are coming out. Is that people are coming out and saying that there was these 10-foot shadow creatures? Is that was what you saw, right?
Yeah, they said it was like a like it. What did I read that they said it was like? It was like it was like a shadow creature, almost like like shadow people, which would be like a paranormal like term, but it was more. Even though it looked like a shadow, it was more physical looking, like more solid.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I caught my eye, and I was like, wait a second, that makes more sense to why there was this much of a police presence, right? Like you pretty
Hmm.
much have the goddamn National Guard rolling out here for some kids that were fighting, that were supposed gang members, right?
Yeah,
But now you bring in shadow creatures. Now that's some supernatural, paranormal type shit that I thrive for. But my only thing that debunks this is that it's 2024 now. Like, not one person busted out the camera. I mean, we've seen so many other things that have been videotaped, right? Like
oh yeah,
explosions and all these terrible things that have been caught on film. I mean, look at back in 2020, the amount of fucking cop killings that were caught on film. Nobody helped, obviously, but they stopped to film it. But a
and it
shadow
was in
creature, you
crystal
don't think
clear.
the whoop like
The
yeah,
videos
like
would
in
be
the middle of
crystal
a mall.
clear.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a bright, yeah, like that's 4K. You can go point 0.5 with that. You can go point
yeah.
0.5, get wide angle, and yeah, like I don't know, it's weird to me. Like I feel like that's where the only thorn is. But I've been watching some TikTok. There's a TikToker. His father is he's running for the sheriff to be sheriff of Miami, and he put his father on the spot. And watching his father's face was a little bit interesting. He's like, Dad, what was going on at the mall over there? What happened? Why was there so many cops? And he's like, Son, I can't talk about that. I can't. I can't talk about it. And he just looked a little shook. So now it's like,
A little
maybe they are hiding.
suspect.
So I feel like something is sus about it. Is it aliens? I don't know about that. Um,
I don't know
something
if I
did
would
come out
go as
today.
far as that.
But see, here's the kicker, right? Now, this is where my confusion this is where the conspiracy kind of takes a little deeper dive, because today, as I was scrolling through the TikToks and the interwebs watching my videos, I watched these politicians come out and start talking about uh, interdimensional creatures was a word that was said. She
Yep.
said the word interdimensional like 4 times. She was like a councilwoman or some kind of senator or something like that. I don't know who it was. She some kind of public figure, and she yeah, for her to say that though in an interview, because they were talking about extraterrestrials, that's really not. And now, like days after of what happened, and is this just is this just a little flag to wave because the Epstein list was just dropped and our boys, our boy Stephen Hawking on the island? Or like we just trying to hide that fact? We're gonna not just gonna try to ignore it.
I
By the
mean,
way, shout out to Andrew Santino for hitting with that. Why don't you let me go? Let me
the
go. I had
vi-
a blast.
the videos of Stephen Hawking, like people have been recreating, have been gold, but that's neither here nor there. I saw the same video that you're talking about. It wasn't with. It might have been the same lady, but someone kind of broke it down, and I have to give credit to my ex girlfriend. I won't drop her name on here. She actually broke down the different dimensions of the universe that some people like believe in, and there's a two-dimensional and a three-dimensional and then a fourth dimensional, which is seen from like it's like 4D chess if you think about it. And the video that I saw, they were talking about how for the last few years, at least with from 2020 to 2023, which to me, putting that gauge of a year is kind of odd to begin with, because I feel like we've been living in like a maybe a three-dimensional world for longer than that. But they said that the what happened in Miami was going to be that the fourth dimension has broken, and what the fourth dimension entails is that it is what is considered quote unquote the underworld, and that the underworld now has the astral plane is destroyed. So these demonic creatures, shadow people, interdimensional beings are now being able to run amok in this dimension from their own dimension. So,
See, I'm not gonna debunk something like that, right? Because that sounds like something that could happen. That definitely sounds like something that could happen. I mean, we've seen movies about shit like that. But
yeah,
I'm a firm believer of for like, see, my religious beliefs or like my spiritual beliefs more so is that that's what I believe is like when you die, is like, you just transcend this form of life, which is this three-dimension world we live in. Because right, when you think about it, right, you look at gamma rays or x-rays or even just oxygen and air, like we can't see the shit but we know it's here, right?
mhm.
Sound waves we can't see, we know is there. It's a plane of existence that we can't see with our own human eyes. So what's to say that there isn't something past that we can't see? And that's what I believe when you die, is that energy always transfers. Excuse me, it never dissipates. So now when it comes to like, maybe you transcend to that new life form, right? It's like a new life form, a new life, a new style of living, if you want to call it like that, right?
Mhm.
But now when it comes to these creatures, what else is out there, right? Because now there is an infinite amount of planets on a three-dimensional plane. How many things are out there on a fourth-dimensional plane? I mean, shit, look at space-time itself, right? Like you see that you ever see those science experiments where they put a ball in the middle of like a sheet, whatever, and they throw a ball around it, and you see how gravity actually works.
Yeah.
That it's just bent space time, and so what if there's something between the lines of that too? And what if it crosses? I think that's what's happening. I hope that's what happens, because that's it. I mean, I'm all for aliens coming here, because why the fuck not? But
I mean, they've
at
been
the
here.
same
Let's be
time,
honest. They've been here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, See, these are the kinds of things that I feel like Ellie can't say because she might know too much and she doesn't want to get jammed up. So I'll say whatever I want to say because I don't know if it's true or not. Because if I ask her, she just says that's deemed top secret.
Oh, she pulls the top gun that's classified.
That's classified. Yeah. I mean, she has every right to do so.
right?
And yeah. Uh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, no. So, I mean, overall, what are your thoughts? Do you think that there is actual some creatures that were just kind of roaming around Miami, just trying to get a little tan, or
Uh, so I'm on the fence about it. Like I want to say because I'm always for like the whole aliens, Bigfoot, different cryptid things, and all that. And so I'm a firm believer in aliens. Do I think something happened at that mall? Absolutely. But for something to do with, like they said, where it was a couple of delinquents either hitting mannequins with sticks, or if it was quote unquote rival gang members fighting or like starting beef, whatever it was, there was no need for that many amount of cops. Like you said, like it was almost like the damn whole National Guard. I want to say actually the National Guard probably got called in, but there were police forces from not only Miami but from the surrounding areas. And not only that, having that many people, they were majority of them were all just standing in a huddle on the outside of this mall. And so like
right? Like if it was kids, how are you not just busting in there? Like they're
yeah,
just kids.
if it's yeah, if it, and
Like
if it's gang
you wasn't
related, you
scared,
would be standing there. Yeah, if it's gang related, you wouldn't be sitting on the outside. You'd be doing your what your job is to do is protect the peace. And but they're just sitting out there. So I think what they either saw spooked them or disappeared before they could do anything, and they're trying to figure out what happened, or something happened at that mall that we don't know about, and they were supposed to just clear everybody out, and something was going on inside that mall. Because and if you can relate back, I don't know if you can really relate back to it, but this is one of my beliefs is like the stuff that happened like at Sandy Hook and like other terrible things that happened in history, like with like gun violence and stuff like that. um those schools had training for certain events like that prior to the event ever happening. And so like when those cops showed up to Sandy Hook, they were all standing on standby for just one shooter. One, allegedly. They didn't let anybody in. They got everybody out or that they could or whatever, but they wouldn't let anybody else in. They didn't do anything else. And so the same posture that they had in Miami reminds me of that. So I think this might have been like a public exercise to see how people would react or something. I don't know. It's very fishy, and it's not the bad fish that's in Miami.
peculiar. I don't know. I feel like where I stand on it is, was there something possibly interdimensional there that people were scared of? Part of me really wants to believe it, just because, yes, like I said, is like when you have all these terrible things that happen in public, right?
Hmm.
These police killings, or even just remember bum fights, like people just recording people fighting. Like the first thing that people do is bust out their phones. So for people to not take out their phones and record, even because there was no videos that I found of the kids fighting either.
I
So
didn't either. Yeah,
that's where my gut instinct is telling me is like nobody videotaped the creatures, nobody videotaped the children. So what's really going on here? Is there is there really something happening behind the scenes? And I'm really starting to believe so. Because how is there not now, right?
right.
Because if there's no video proof from either side, something went down. Now I'm gonna lean more towards the side of people were legitimately scared of this fucking 10-foot shadow creature versus children. Because I would have busted out and filmed some kids fighting in the fucking mall. Because I feel like
Yeah,
that would have gotten some
I've seen
views.
videos of that. I've seen videos of that.
That happened down at the mall by me here in Massachusetts. Bunch of kids went into a store, like a gaming store, and took hammers and just busted all the fucking glass and then stole all the retro gaming games out of it and then left.
There was, I mean, when there was a shooting at one of the malls here in Oklahoma City, somebody was had recorded, and they you could hear the gunshots. It was clear video. You didn't see the shooter, but it like
Somebody
you
was
said,
still recording.
right, and it was clear video. So, but that was a few years ago. So we're gonna fast forward to again 2024, where our technology is very far advanced at this moment, and you're telling me that there was the camera looks like it's a fucking Android note like from 1972 with choppy footage, and you couldn't get a clear image of this quote unquote 10-foot shadow person, but you can see my license plate if I run a stoplight going however fast, and you can get as crystal clear as possible off of a fucking traffic camera. No,
Right?
no.
Right? Like, come on, guys, come on. Something seems wrong. Something seems off. There's also and also too, right after that, I don't know if you saw the video, the jellyfish alien video that all of a sudden came out that they
Uh-uh.
saw on a military base. Yeah, it looked like some shit that was out of the Matrix, bro. Remember those like the little ball thing with all the tentacles floating behind it? That's
The
what it looked like.
the machine?
Yeah, the machine from the Matrix.
Yeah.
It looked like that. I'll send
That's
it to you after
creepy.
the show to see that one.
Yeah.
That's eerie. The fact that it's after all of this too, you know. Um,
Well,
so
did you
like I
see
said,
the
things are good.
did you see the lights during that whole Miami thing when there was someone apparently because they took a video, which their video was actually kind of clear, and they showed where the cops were, and then they shot up to the sky, and there was a triangular three triangle lights that
I
formed,
didn't see that part. I
and
didn't see
then they
that.
went from a triangle form to a straight line, which in what we've seen in
Hmm.
movies and what you would project or predict is like that would be close to what a UFO would do, which those same lights have been seen out in like Area 51 and stuff like that, and they say that
Yep.
it's like a weather balloon, or if it's like a jet or something like that. And I don't know, the way the lights move, I don't know. It doesn't, again, it doesn't sit right with me.
Doesn't sit right. Something seems wrong. I didn't tell this because actually we were during it was during our hiatus from recording. I had a situation where I was driving down to New York, and I think it was actually for bowling. Yeah, no, it was for bowling. It was right before we started the new season.
Okay.
And I was driving down, and weirdly enough, I saw F-16s or F-18s, whatever they were, the jet planes, and I
Mhm.
saw four flying in V formation. All right, there's one. Then I saw another one, and then I saw a third one, and then on the third one, the one all the way in the end just peeled off and just went a completely different, just into the sunset. And then my thought was, why the fuck is there 12 military planes flying in formation over New York right now?
It's what you like see in like movies when that shit starts happening
Right?
in the South.
Dude, like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, if I'm heading to the war zone, one, I know I ain't got no gulag tokens. I don't even have my loadout. Like, I don't know about this. I don't want to play this game right now. I was expecting the bowl. So like, no joke. I called Ellie with the quickness, and I was like, yo, call your military girls up. I need to know what's happening right now. So like, call your friends, find out who got information, because I need to know if I should not be there right now or not.
Yeah.
Luckily, apparently nothing that she heard of. But I was like, yo, like, I was trying to think through all the things in my head. Like, why is there 12, 12 fucking fighter jets in the
That's
air?
just
And like,
excessive.
motherfuckers, that's expensive. They don't
That
just do
too.
that shit for fun. So, and I was like, maybe they're running drills, and I'm like, well, drill's not this weekend. Like, this wouldn't be a weekend for drill, and I'm like, there's no base nearby, so I don't know. And then like it was like a month, like during the month of December, or during November, when I went down to New York for something. I actually drove by Danbury, Connecticut. There was a bunch of military trucks all lined up and shit. So I'm
Mm.
assuming maybe there's a base or something that's close by. I don't know. I'm not gonna question it, but I'm gonna question it because something don't sit right. I feel like we're trying to start these wars and shit right now just to try to take our eyes off the aliens. And then the Epstein list came out, and they were like, "Yo, aliens!" Like,
Yeah, it's like that dude from
that's what
what
it
was it,
feels like.
the History Channel, Aliens.
Oh yeah, Giorgio Tuscalooskis
Mm.
is. I'm
Oh,
not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
another thing about that Miami thing, because you were talking about jets, all flights coming into and leaving Miami were put on hold during that whole ordeal.
Right, right, for children,
Make that
for
or or
juveniles.
or
Like,
rival gang
sitting
members.
here, come on, rival gang
Come on,
members. That's
hey,
the real
come
excuse. You could have gotten
on,
better. Come on.
come on.
I should get that as a sound. I should press a button. That should be a sound. Instead, we got porno. Oh my god. Ah, Jesus, felt like I was gonna sneeze. Okay. Um, that's pretty much. I mean, that would sum that up pretty decently. I think something did happen. Something could have. I don't know. All right, on to the next one. Now, this one here. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna say what it is. It's Cat Williams. We got to talk about him because this was not something that I expected to see in 2024
No.
right off the rip. This is not how I expected to start the year. I thought we were going to start the year. We love each other. We're nice. Everything's good. But no, we started off. We just name dropping, saying Kevin Hart was doing this. We're saying people doing that. Like
And it
so,
kind of ties into the
Cat
Epstein kind of
Williams.
shit.
It does because like that list came out right after, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
damn. Like, yeah, and he name dropped Harvey Weinstein. He said all the stuff that people haven't been saying. So I don't know. Now, Cat for years has seemed like he was off the rails. Like I think wasn't he like wasn't he just arrested not too long ago for doing coke and crack again?
I don't know if he was doing it, but I think he got arrested for possession.
Which means he was probably doing it, right? Um, now
19 felonies, no convictions.
it's true though. Still, but here's I mean, that just means he has a good lawyer, right? Or he's just buying himself out of it.
Oh, I was doing
Now,
the TikTok sound, but okay.
oh,
The Wendy
I
Williams
don't think
when
he was what?
she Wendy Williams, he went on the show on a radio show and she tried to make fun of him and she said something about how he's been to prison. He said no. He's like I've been to jail. He said jail and prison are not the same. 19 felonies, no convictions. Somehow she wore
Uh-huh.
$12 jewelry and yeah, I mean and he made fun of her weight. Like she tried she threw a right hook and he hit her with a two-piece and a soda on
Yeah, I
live
mean
air.
that's why you don't come after comedians, right? Like,
No.
I'm not a comedian, so like my clapbacks aren't as strong as that. But like comedians, like they'll tear you apart. They'll eat you up.
Oh
So
yeah.
PSA for the people out there in the world, don't come at comedians. They'll eat you alive. Um. So yeah, no, with Cat, like I said, for the last few years, I feel like he's been on and off drugs. He's been in and out of trouble. He just sounded crazy. He reminds me of what's his name, Orlando Brown, the dude from that
Ex-
Raven show.
exactly
He
just
sa-
like him.
he sounds like him, but now like you got at some point, if you start hearing more people talk like this, is this crazy talk or is this because Kanye sound like it too? Are we gonna sit here and say that Kanye does not sound like these motherfuckers talking crazy? Talking about how Hollywood really works and the people that who actually sold out and who's part of the Illuminati and all these things. Like the more and more people I hear talk about it, now I'm starting to be like, maybe you weren't crazy. Maybe they were just trying to shut you up. And that's where the real question lies,
Kind of like how they did Dave Chappelle.
right? Like Dave was in the center of that shit. And do I think
Yeah.
that Dave was part of the Illuminati? No, but they were trying. They were trying, I think.
I
But I
think they
don't
were
think I
trying
don't
and
oh, but maybe he did because dude, like I mean, listen, like now he's with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and all this and he's with these, all these guys that are like having his back and that's not a big that sounds like an Illuminati thing. They're
I
like
don't
they're like,
know.
they're like bottom list, they're not Beyonce, Jay-Z Illuminati, but they're like at the bottom of the row.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, the way like the stuff that happened to Cat Williams, if you look at it, and I firmly believe that history repeats itself. And so, like, what happened to Cat Williams, where he caught that assault charge, and then he got arrested for possession, and he kind of just what it looked like he fell off the wagon is the same thing that happened to Dave Chappelle. And if you watch that interview, he even brings up the whole scenario with the whole Dave Chappelle thing. He said that Dave Chappelle was offered something from the Illuminati. He turned it down. They said, "No, you're going to take this, and if you don't, we're going to ruin your life very quickly." By the time, and he said no, obviously, and so by the time he had got on the plane, landed back in California or wherever it was, his show from Comedy Central was canceled. The story had already sprung out that he was on crack cocaine and that he had done all these heinous things, and then he dipped out to Africa for many a years. And I don't. And Cat Williams goes on to tell everyone that's exactly how fast this happens. He said because it happened to him. He turned down something, his life went to shit. So to see both of those stories coincide,
Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors is a good guy then. He said, I don't want that white woman. So Cat Williams in this whole interview, and if you guys haven't seen the interview, Cat Williams said that when you become famous, you get a white woman. Now, I didn't say this. Now, I'm not saying this. Cat Williams said this, that they offer you a crazy white woman. Specifically, a crazy white woman is what he said in that video. Now, you look at what happened with Jonathan, and I know this is like a little segue with our show because we talked about it the last episode
right?
about what would happen with Jonathan Majors. Now, for those at home, we didn't know what the verdict was yet. That was
Yep.
recorded months ago, like a month and a half prior to the conviction. So, regardless of the case, but now listening to Cat Williams, that sounds like Jonathan Majors was offered the throne from Disney. Like, here, be our face of the Illuminati. And he was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm part of Creed. Me and Michael B. Jordan ain't part of the Illuminati. We got this. And they're like, oh, word? Remember that white girl? Guess she's crazy after all, huh?
Yeah. I guess you did assault her.
That's- yeah. That is a crazy ass story. I think that now I'm putting two and two together. We're
Connecting
ETing
dots.
this shit. ET phone home. ET phone home. I answered hello. Who is it? Illuminati.
Your
That's
Pepe
exactly how that
Sylvia.
went down.
Your Pepe Sylvia in it. You don't
Pepe,
watch
who's
Always
Pepe?
Sunny, so
Oh yeah.
it's
Where's
Pepe Silva.
Pepe? Yeah, I remember that. Conspiracy Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what happened, right? And and I'm gonna go back to what we talked about with uh the other stuff is like watch this hand while this hand does this. And I feel like Cat Williams ain't lying. Because I feel like again, now I also feel like Shannon Sharp was in the same situation, right? Because look at his career. He said no to the Illuminati, went and did his own thing, and all of a sudden ESPN loves him, and now he has his own thing kicking up, and now spiral.
So you think
Now I
Skip Bayless
feel
is part
like
of the Illuminati?
Skip Bayless and Travis Kelsey, part of the Illuminati. Calling it right now. Mic drop.
I don't like Travis Kelsey, and I'm going to say that I don't think he was in the Illuminati until the T Swizzle thing came about.
Well, hold on, because listen, now he's doing these commercials for Pfizer, right? Like
Oh
now you're getting political,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're dating the Princess of Pop. Mhm. Princess of Pop, Pfizer, Illuminati. Number one podcast.
Yeah, him and his brother, like their stuff has been
Wait,
fast tracked
wait,
on all
wait,
platforms.
wait, wait. You have Pfizer, starts with a P. You have podcast, starts with a P. You have pop star, starts with a P. What happens when you
PPE.
turn three P's upside down? Three P's upside down is 666, baby.
What up, bitch?
Travis Kelsey from Illuminati. And I'm still a fan. Still a fan, baby. It's fine. Illuminati it up, bro. Drink, eat the babies. It's cool. Win me Super Bowls. I live with it. I live with it. It's fine.
I didn't.
Mason Rudolph better start getting ready because he ain't ready for it.
Anyway, we're not bringing him sports to any more sports into this. Uh,
Who knows? It used to be completely limited, but by the time this comes out, we'll know who's going to the Super Bowl. So
this is true.
this will either age well or terrible.
But I never put together when you said how Travis Kelsey has gained so much traction. And granted, like, a lot of like people are like, "Oh, well, it's because of Taylor Swift," and yet, like, no, she was a part, yes, but like him and his brother's podcast has skyrocketed. They had a Netflix special that came out. They had, um, like he's now, and Travis Kelsey's the front face of Pfizer, and
And he's also now in the State Farm commercials with Patrick. Now
he's in the
that one's
state.
more of a
Yeah,
Patrick thing. But I mean, like when you start looking at it, and like Cat Williams said, how quick these things happen, right? Cat
Yeah,
full circle. Cat Williams said they will give you a white girl. Now, unfortunately, Taylor Swift has to be the white. I'm sorry for that. I'm a Swiftie, so I'm not saying Taylor Swift is just a white girl. She is the white girl, right? So like they just offered her like maybe she's recruiting him to the Illuminati. Plot twist. Taylor, I'm on to you. Taylor is recruiting him to the Illuminati. That's what it was.
he's in
Because they
tryouts.
knew that if they got him, they knew if they got him, who do they get? Patrick. That's where it is. That's where it is. I feel like because if you because you're a football fan, you're a football fan. You
Yeah,
watch how Patrick Mahomes his rise to greatness, right? Like it was no way easy. He came from losses, crazy fucking come from back behind wins, crazy injuries that has been happening and still playing through them, all this stuff, right? Like it's a Hollywood movie. Maybe the Illuminati was like trying to control the NFL season, but Patrick Mahomes, just greatness won him those Super Bowls. And they're like, well, we got to get him on our team now, or else he's just not going to follow through. But maybe he just kept turning him down and saying, no, 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 no. They got Travis hooked up with Taylor. Taylor goes, I'm going to get you a huge sponsorship with Pfizer. I'm going to help you with that. I know somebody over there. Boom, connected there. All of a sudden, Taylor starts hanging out at the games with Brittany Mahomes. Now, because Brittany and Taylor are now close friends, Brittany and Taylor going over the Mahomes household where they're going to hang out with Patrick. She's going to go up to him in his office and be like, Mr. Mahomes, sir, the Illuminati has told you we want you to be partnered with us, and we are not accepting no. Because watch what will happen if Patrick, and I think this is the storyline I'm putting together. If Patrick truly says no, he's going to suffer a bad injury that's going to put him out for a year. If he says yes, the Chiefs are somehow winning the Super Bowl this year. That's why the season for the Chiefs has been so up and down all year because Kelsey Mahomes has not given his answer yet. This is how conspiracies are born.
holy Santa Claus shit. That's
That
that's a
all makes sense too.
that's a good one. Aside from
Don't do drugs.
I'm the only thing I'm going to discredit is that them going and winning the Super Bowl, but everything else I'm going to say that it sounds very plausible.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If he says yes and joins the Illuminati, watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. When all odds were counted against them for once now, right? Because they're not the favorites. I don't think that I'm a Chiefs fan. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win. I think the fucking 49ers or the Ravens will win the Super Bowl. They are the best teams in football.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I don't know if you noticed in the last game, Brittany and Taylor were sitting next to each other in the booth, and they were having such a good time. Mama Kelsey did not look very happy though, because I feel like she knew what the agenda was for afterwards, because she knew Jason and Travis are already tied into this, and that they were just trying to get to Patrick, and that Patrick's gonna have to make the decision.
Do you really think
And
Jason's
I
tied in?
feel, oh yeah, you don't
I
get
don't
your
think
own
Jason.
Amazon special. You don't get your own Amazon movie that ends up being a top 10 pick in the entire nation.
No, okay, that's
Hot
fair.
in the
Okay.
USA at Travis, Jason. I didn't even know who Jason Kelsey was till we faced them in the Super Bowl. Until the Chiefs were facing the Eagles in the Super Bowl and they started talking about Jason Kelsey. I'm like, Travis has a brother in the NFL? Now I respect him now, but my point is though, I feel like that conversation happened last night because they were all seen leaving together. Travis, Patrick, Taylor, and Brittany were all seen leaving together. So now I bet you last night after the game, they went out and they discussed it. Now the Chiefs are either going to be like, I love you, buddy, but the Bills are going to win next. The Bills are by the time this airs, the Bills have already played and won against your Steelers. So I'm going to
That's
apologize now.
I'm not again. Didn't even expect to be in the playoffs, so we were just happy to be
Perfect.
there.
Okay. So now I'll be the first to say this. Do I think that the Bills will beat the Chiefs? 100%. Now we'll see how this plays out. If the Chiefs end up winning this, this means Patrick said yes, and he's part of the Illuminati, and they will go on and beat the Ravens and win another Super Bowl. If he said no, I'm telling you the Bills will win, and you'll see something happen to Mahomes where he's injured or he's walking off the field and he's not finishing the game. I'm telling you right now, that's how it's going to happen. The Illuminati's involved, and that's. Oh, by the way, this is all just opinionated. This is not real. These are not factual. This is just rambling thoughts of a person with ADHD and severe trauma.
Well, I
And I
will
was told
say,
by a therapist that I don't need therapy.
uh, to piggyback back to Cat Williams, that started that whole. Again, this is why it's down the rabbit hole because, as you saw, Zaga nosedived Olympic style straight down into that rabbit hole
Oh,
very gracefully.
we were at that water park that was in Grown Ups where they had that tube that spiraled all the way down. That was me right there.
Yeah,
But full circle though, everything that Cat Williams said, mirror it to Travis Kelsey and tell me it's wrong.
I know you. I mean, you nailed that thing like a split hog. Like that was pretty fucking spot on. The one that caught me, aside from white women being the devil and stuff like that, is, and I don't see the movie moving
Which
forward afterwards. Uh, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker? What happened with Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker is on the Epstein flight list,
Oh, he
and
is.
he is. And so what? And they pulled up the flight log, and on the flight log, the day that he went, it was Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker. So we're gonna come full circle real fast. Watch. Kevin Spacey, you saw the allegations that came against him. He's been cut from pretty much every fucking thing. Bill Clinton has always been on everybody's radar. We all know that he's done something, and at some point in time, it's going to come to light. Epstein, that speaks for itself. Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever how you pronounce her fucking name, she has already confessed to it. I believe that she's still alive somehow, some way. And then Chris Tucker. And if you look back at pictures when they're at like some resort prior to flying to Epstein's island, you see one of Epstein's victims who was a teenage. Yeah, she was. I don't remember. I don't know what age she was, but she is very well underage. It's a lot of his associates. That little girl is hugging Chris Tucker, and he has his arm around her at this resort or at the airport or whatever before he goes. So you can't sit. And Chris Tucker has
And
been
Smokey's a pedophile.
in
So
Smoky what?
sad. Smokey's a pedophile. It's unbelievable. I
And of
was
course, this
hoping
was
for
all
a
prior
rush.
to that.
I was so excited for a Rush Hour 4. I guess we're never gonna get one now.
So you know what that makes me think?
Oh,
Maybe you know how we've been hearing the rumors that we were always going to get like a Friday movie, like a finalized Friday movie, and they're going to go back to like Craig's like old home and stuff like that. And they were waiting on like certain people to sign on and get the funds and stuff like that. That all kind of started happening when the Epstein stuff was going on. Like the list had been mentioned and stuff like that before names being dropped. That project never moved forward. And now seeing his name on the flight log makes me think he's not going to sign up for this because he knows what the fuck is coming. He knew what was going to come if the log was ever released. And now it is on public view. Granted, you can doctor stuff that's on the internet to fit whatever you need to, and you can put whatever you want on there. But it did look like, I mean, it was his name: Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, J.E. Jeffrey Epstein, G.A. or G.M. for Ghislaine Maxwell, and then above them it said they try to hide Bill Clinton's name by William L. Clinton, Bill Clinton. I mean, connect the dots there.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, let's wrap this one. Let's finish that one up now. Like Cat Williams, I fully believe that There's some truth in all the things he said. 100%. There's
Yeah.
definitely things in there that because he made jokes like this prior to. I watched somebody edited this. He said something on that episode on that interview, and then they cut to a stand up special where he mentioned it years prior, the same thing or something similar, and how it came full circle. Like you can see the stuff that happened after the fact that he said that, and him repeating it now. Like it's just weird, man. Again, something doesn't sit right. Like he didn't look like he was off the rocker saying it too. Like he looked like he was just normal having conversation.
Well, and that's what
Was
he
he
told Shannon.
stoned? Probably.
Well, I mean, like Shannon
Oh,
Sharp even told him the same thing. He said that he's like, I didn't think that you were a drinker. He's like, I don't drink to get drunk. He's like, I drink to appreciate it. He said, and he broke down that drink. He broke down the drink that Shannon had poured for him because he's I'm assuming it was a bourbon connoisseur.
crazy, right? And if somebody busts out stuff like that, now you're like showing, hey, I'm 100% aware of what I'm saying and what I'm doing.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
he's
he
very
did acid and
intelligent.
it just took a while. Maybe he just it dropped an acid and like it was just waiting for it to take effect. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like there was some embellishment there. Obviously, like you're an entertainer, so you can easily embellish more. We're gonna believe you. But at
Yeah,
the same time, it's like some of that shit had some validity to it and some truth because you'll just look at history and all the stuff that he was saying and all the people that got caught up in problems and issues and all the things that happened to them, and it's like it's not wrong,
no,
not wrong
he
in
was
the
very spot
slightest.
on.
So all right, so we'll end with that one's over with now. So we believe both of these so far. So Miami, we believe that there was something there, or else somebody would have had some kind of video evidence of what happened, right? Cat Williams, we think that yes, he might have embellished some things, but there's definitely some truth in those words.
Oh, very so.
Now, the last one here I wanted to say because this Chicago one is it's crazy, and I want you to live look it up too. Google it. Google this stuff. Now, what I'm going to talk about is the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. I'll give you a
1890.
second.
You said 1893
18, 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Chicago World Fair.
Now, yep. Now, this is a crazy story. Now, the Chicago World's Fair was a very big thing. This was a bunch of people coming together with showing new technology and ways of the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember back in the 50s, it was like the world of tomorrow.
Yeah,
You know how they had those kinds of commercials? Yeah, look at like Fallout, shit like that. Now, back in the 1890s, there wasn't a lot of technology, right? Like electricity was still fairly there were still people who've never even seen electricity. Now, Tesla was partnered with this whole thing. That's not a play a point later. Now, the most important part of this is that they purchased oh my god, I forgot how many acres it was. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
it has a whole
Chicago
different name.
World's Fair.
It says World's Columbian Exposition. The
Yeah,
world.
so it's yeah, it's it has a couple different names.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm trying to find the acreage of how many it was. Oh, so the fair covered 630 acres. Now, for those at home, that is a lot of property. That is a lot of land. And Nick, you're looking at the pictures of this, right? Can you describe what you're kind of seeing at the Chicago's World Fair here? Like, what does it
Um,
look like to you?
Definitely what I would see like something like a history book, but it also looks like something very satanic.
All right, so we're talking about like you're talking about like cathedral type things and
Yeah, yeah, okay, like
statues, stuff that would
Victorian and
be
stuff like
Greek
that.
or Roman. Yeah, like these massive structures. Um, like these like and you see like there's like rivers and canals. Those are all handmade. Those are all man-made. Those aren't natural
Okay.
to the area. Like so like now
This
you see
doesn't
the
look
grand scheme of
real.
things. So here's the crazy thing. It took 2 years to build all of that. Now, you see the pictures of this, and for those of you at home, please go on your computer, your phone, look it up. Look up the Chicago's World Fair, or what was the other one? The World's Columbian Exposition.
Yeah, World's Columbian
Google that.
Exposition.
Look at the images, and then just take a look and see the vastness of this. The designs of this. On TikTok, I'll post the pictures and shit on there when I post these videos of me talking about this. Now, you live in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
I live in Connecticut. We've both seen construction happen,
Hmm.
right? Like just natural construction. Do you think that could get built in 2 years
No.
today?
No.
So they're talking about 1893. That was built in 2 years.
Dude, they
All right,
can't even finish highways within like in 2 years.
right? Now, here's the crazy part. It took 2 years to build that. How long would you say it would take it to demolish all of that and take that down?
Using what?
In 1893, who knows? But I'll tell you, it only took 6 months to demolish the thing clean, where there was no proof of it ever happening.
There's no way.
Within 6 months. So the moment that the thing ended, in 6 months, not a trace of the fairgrounds was there again. So here, right now, we're starting. I'm purposely wording this stuff like this because now you're getting an idea of like, wait, why would it be gone that quick? Why would it, at the snap of a finger? Why would it why would they destroy it?
Not only that, just
Now,
like how fast with no like they weren't even mainstream, so like to destroy something like that would take longer than 6 months, even in today's
yes.
time.
So here's a cool thing. Now, in on your phone there, you have Chicago's World Fair searched up, correct?
Yes.
Now, just search at the end of that lights. Now, I'll
Lights.
describe this to the people as you pull this up. Lights. Yep. Now, what you're going to see is that entire area lit up bright. It looks like Times Square. I'm assuming you're seeing this here, right? It looks like something that you would see in New York City.
Yeah, it's all in black and white, but you can still
Now,
see the.
how much brightness is, right?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Nick, imagine you never seen a light bulb in your life, and this is the first time you see it. These were people's first times encountering electricity, encountering um light bulbs and seeing what it is. Now, here's the crazy part with this. Like I said, Tesla was the one that ran all this and showed the people his technology of light bulbs and electricity. Electricity wasn't around that area for at least 100 miles away. Like that was the closest one. So they don't understand how they're able to pull the electricity from that area down to this fairgrounds. There was also, and I'm not going to have you look this up, but you can. And for those at home, please do search the World's Fair of 1893 and search railroad or a moving sidewalk. They had a sidewalk that rotated and moved around the entire fairgrounds for faster transportation in like a monorail in the 1800s. Like you can just
That's
walk right on and it just moved. It just kept going around. They had gondolas. They had all these things. And then again, the moment it's over, 6 months later, wiped clean. And if you look at, there's not a lot of pictures of this, right? You
no.
would think, that they would be able to have so many portraits and photos and pictures of what encountered here. Why is there only the same two? Now, I know pictures weren't a big thing in the 1800s. It was expensive. It was hard to do. But we were talking about this grand level of lighting, like stuff we take for granted every day because you just take look at a picture of Times Square, New York. It looks just like that. But
Hmm.
now you're talking about the 1800s to have something of that level. You don't think there's more stuff on it? Try looking up reports about it. Try looking up newspaper reports about it, anything on that. You can't find anything. This was apparently so secretive back then that nobody even talked about it. But
This is
why?
crazy.
And if so, why would you destroy the entire property 6 months later? Right?
The Tesla
For those
spotlight is
at
what
home,
gets me.
please. The spotlight, yeah, he had a spotlight. It's crazy. And then when you look at if you look at where it was on a map, it's in the middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle of nowhere. It's one of the craziest things I have ever seen and ever heard of. And it's so confusing. So apparently it was in Jackson Park. Now I'm just gonna Google this. Jackson Park, Chicago. Where is this on a map? I mean, I guess it's right outside of Chicago. Never mind. I was gonna say in the middle of nowhere, but apparently, from what there was something I was reading that said that there was no electricity to be able to be currented to that area for hundreds of miles away. Um, but if you look at some of the weird facts about the 1893 World's Fair, it just doesn't make sense, and it makes you wonder why, what really happened, what was going on behind the scenes, because Tesla was a weird dude, and I'm not convinced he wasn't an alien. You can't convince me he wasn't,
I
or
don't
he
know.
didn't work with aliens.
I would lean more toward works with. I would say he's like what Elon Musk is doing now.
Elon Musk is definitely just an alien itself. He looks weird, man. He doesn't look like a normal person.
That
And then the way he talks, like I know he's South African, but I dated a South African. He don't sound like a South African. I don't know. It's a weird, it's a weird one, right?
that
It's one
is
of the
super
ones you sit
weird.
there and ponder. So this is the kind of stuff that I envisioned when I was talking about the idea of down the rabbit hole with you guys, is that we don't have an answer for this, but this is something you can continue to go down further and further and never get an answer on. And that's the thing that I think creeps me out about that World's Fair more than anything else, is the fact that there is no answer. That is it. This is it. This is all we got. Nothing more, nothing less. We get these few pictures, a couple of stories, and that is all. You hear nothing else. You will get no more answers. Now, there is something, and I'm going to talk. I want to do this for the next episode because we're running up on time here. But the next episode, I want to talk about the rabbit hole, going down the rabbit hole on. Uh, Actually, let me start with this. Do you like Joe Rogan? Do you listen to any Joe Rogan?
I'm white and I live in the Midwest. Yes.
You definitely listen to Joe Rogan. Cool. So Joe Rogan talks about this a lot, and he's a firm believer of it. And you see this on Ancient Aliens as well. He talks about how the human civilization already had a mass extinction or a mass apocalypse already, and that the Sphinx is the number one thing that points to that there was civilization way before, an advanced civilization way before what we know, which is the Anunnakis. They think I think human civilization is only about, I think it was at like 20,000 years old or something like that. But there's reports that people believe that humans themselves were around 50, 60,000 years ago, which now changes the whole dynamic of Atlantis and all these things that you talk about. And we'll dive into that the next episode. Um, and I want you to do some looking into that, because it is a weird one, especially when you look at the Sphinx. You go down the rabbit hole on the Sphinx, and then we'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
It's a good one. But so what else? What are your thoughts on the World's Fair, though? Because you didn't you didn't do any research on this. This was all everything I'm telling you. I had you just search now. What are your thoughts on this?
I think going off the pictures and what you said, I think that it so I think in how do I want to put this? I think throughout history there have been moments in time where we as a on our planet in our society we're behind, but there is a species or not species, but there's a civilization that is so far more advanced than what we are right now. And I think throughout time in history that society comes back or is present and decides to see if we are ready to handle that fast of advancement in technology. And so when it goes wrong, it pretty much gets wiped out of history, like it so fast, like how that Chicago World's Fair was, how it got built so fast and then was destroyed almost instantaneously because the people of that time period were not ready for that far of advancement.
Right. So it's like now it makes you wonder is like, did we have more technology a while ago and then we just kind of held it off because the civilization wasn't ready for it? Because I mean, when you
Yeah,
think about it, dude, like think about just in our lifetime, right? Like you're 33, 32.
yeah, 33.
All right. So you're 33, I'm 33. And in our time, when we were born, cell phones were not really a thing. There was still a big, bulky, like backpack that you had to
Suitcase,
carry
yeah,
with you. Or it was like you had to be attached to a car because the antenna had to be huge,
yep,
right? And then you look at us now. I I have a football game on my phone as we're sitting here talking via the internet, right? Like like the advancement, even from horse and carriage to landing on the moon, whether you believe it or not, we still went to space. So maybe I won't do moon landing. Maybe I'll do just first time sending a satellite to space, right? Because we did do
okay.
that. Now, just from horse and carriage to that, what was that? 1920 to 1950, bro, 30, 40 years. Think about that, right? The first Ford what came out in what 1920, 1910,
I don't know cars,
something
but
like that.
yeah, I think that's close. Yeah,
So I think it was something around that line. It was the early 1900s, and then we sent satellites up in the 50s. Like that's crazy. That's crazy to think of. We were using animals for transportation to sending things in space. That would happen in our lifetime. We would have been able to remember that. Think about that. We remembered the first car to then remembering watching us send things to space. That's how fast technology has grown. Now look at it from our lifetime, how little it's grown. Are we losing communication? Did we lose that peace treaty with the aliens? Is that why we're seeing more alien reports now because they're not happy with us? Right?
that's a
Think about
good.
this too.
Yeah,
Think about one of the most advanced planes and it was one of the craziest planes ever made. It was the SR-71. Was also used in X-Men. You would remember that, right?
yeah.
Remember the X-Men jet? Yeah, that's an SR-71. Now they didn't use them a lot, but they only made a couple, but it was ridiculous advanced technology for the time it came out because that came out in like the 70s or the 70s or the 80s. You're telling me now we can't do something better, right? Like that was the peak back. That was the peak. That's still the peak. Yeah, we got a
No, there's no
Nighthawk
way.
bomb. We got the bombers and stuff. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like going back to aliens and interdimensionals and Cat Williams and Illuminati, we have lost that peace treaty with aliens and they're coming and they're mad now. They're not happy with what we've been doing with the world. We probably stiffed them on a deal and they're coming back. They're coming to claim their monies. I feel like it.
So,
We're,
so would you say that they're kind of like Big Worm, Big Perm?
oh, your internet glitched out there last second. What'd you say?
I'm my bad. Um, so would you say like the aliens are probably like Big Perm? I mean Big Worm.
Yeah, that would be good. He's coming. Yeah, he's a pimp. We've been
Yeah.
pimped by aliens. I feel that's a rabbit hole for next week. All right, let's say our goodbyes here. I am done. I can't think of any more. My brain hurts from trying to just spiraling. That Taylor Swift thing took everything out of me,
Yeah,
but
I
it
saw the
made
life
so much
drain.
sense. And
It
I can't,
does.
now I can't stop thinking.
And now
Now
I'm
I
gonna be
can't stop
paying
thinking
more
about it.
attention to it.
I feel like this. Oh yeah, we're definitely. This is definitely the NFL ain't scripted, but the world is. I'll tell you
But the
that.
world
All
is.
right, guys. Thank you. Say your goodbyes, Nick. You do the send off. This is your show.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode of season 3 for Down the Rabbit Hole. There is going to be many more to come, along with other several great episodes, or episodes, series is. Yeah, series is.
I think what I'm trying to do is at least get 5 of each show. I
That'd
think
be
that'll
all
be a
right.
good because
Yeah.
we have what? Yeah, 5 of each show, and we'll call it a season. We'll take a month off, and then we'll come back and we'll say hi again. We'll probably go to May. We'll have lots of time to put episodes out.
But like we were saying, there's many more shows to come. We're going to be coming back bigger than ever this season. But again, we hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you guys have enjoyed Zaga. If you're watching this on
Yeah,
Spotify or YouTube, you see the life just drain out of him after he found his little route, and it just took everything out of him.
yeah, dude, like that what I said about Taylor Swift, I don't know if I'm gonna upset some Swifties or whatnot, but like, dude, you think about it, like it's really scary. I don't
It
know,
really
like that
is.
when I connected the dots, it hurt my soul to think that Travis could be using Mahomes, and I thought they were friends, and now like I just developed an entire dramatic storyline that I'll probably write a script to one day. And they say I don't need therapy. See, I handle things fine. But yes, guys, thank you for letting me join in for the first episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm gonna try to get Copper involved in this too because I
That
think
would
he
be
would have
good.
fun going down some rabbit holes. Chris would have some fun going down some rabbit holes. We're gonna have good mix and matches throughout the whole season.
We
Each
should
of
do a
us hopping
group
around.
down the rabbit hole.
Oh, that'd be a good. That'd get too chaotic. All of us will be trying to chime in with something.
That's a 2 hour episode.
But we'll figure. That's a 2 hour episode. Maybe we do a special one of these days. We'll
I
do a
like that.
special, a season finale. Season finale. Oh, sneak
Hmm.
peek
Hey,
ideas live creative meeting. Welcome, guys. All right, seriously though, thank you guys for tuning into the NFA Network and checking out our shows. Check out the other shows if you did enjoy this one. All of our other shows are very similar, very comedic based. Sometimes we're serious. Most of the time we're stupid. I'm just an idiot half the time. So that's what we roll with here. Plenty more Copper. We're gonna get to meet Chris. We already met Chris in the other episode. Zaga, I'm referring myself in the third person. Me and Chris are gonna be doing our own show soon called "But Did You Die?" Recapping some of our ridiculous stories. That if I tried to tell you these stories, you wouldn't believe me. So I have to have him here to tell his version and recap it himself because these stories. Oh, dude, Ellie and me and Chris were telling the story to Ellie and his girlfriend last night, and they were in tears. Like they were crying how funny these stories are because of how ridiculous these things happened. And I can't wait to tell everybody at home about them too. Copper's gonna have his own show too. Copper's Corner is gonna be coming soon. I believe I'm hanging out with him. I think a couple weeks, so he's gonna be at the house. Probably gonna get some fun videos. I'll take some pictures of his feet for you guys and for you, Nick. I know you need
yes,
those.
I need them.
And yeah, and then obviously take a look out for more notoriously nerdy, more fanboys, more what was the other one we had? More subtle indifference, which I'm probably gonna change that title. I really don't like it. Yeah, there's just gonna be a lot more. Higher Expectations is gonna be coming out eventually. We're trying to get Chris a little more comfortable in front of the cameras and the lights. It is a little nerve wracking. I know I remember when like our first episodes when you were on like camera and stuff, you were very nerve wracked.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. It happens.
You got more and more comfortable as each week went on. But like I remember those first and the worst one was I think our first episode was Carlos, and you were just so like blindsided. You were not like 100%.
No, and I don't know what
But we
happened,
got there.
but yeah, we got there. Baby steps.
Maybe step. I think it's still you're still trying to get used to the fact that you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you went from by yourself to not only now with somebody, but you were right with two other co-hosts. And then you went immediately from that. We only did what 14 episodes. You went right from that to now there's like 6 people part of the show,
Hmm.
plus an entire fan base now that's now working with us and helping us with everything. But yes, for y'all at home, thank y'all for being fan supporters. If you guys got this far, I know a lot of you listen all the way to the end. So shout outs to everybody that does listen to the end. I know Jen, there was a new person that entered the group, Mel, Linda, always a shout out. Carly, we always love you guys. Thank you guys for always being supportive and tagging us and sharing all of our stuff. You know what? I'll give, even though he's our co-host, I'll give him a little shout out because we owe some of our new fame and our new followers, our new fandomship because of him. So, Mr. Copper, we hate you, but we love you. You beautiful, deep voice Southern man. We're gonna have him read 50 Shades of Grey with his feet.
He's going to hold the
That's
book
what
with
we're
his
gonna
feet.
do.
He's going to hold the book with his feet.
Yep, he's gonna turn the pages with his feet, and we'll have him twirl his like he has that bullet fidget toy thing
Yeah.
while he's reading. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna enjoy this. This is gonna be a hell of a season.
It's going to be
There's
great.
so much more to come. But guys, thank you so much. I love y'all. This is Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm out. Peace.
Later, guys.